What's good? Welcome to another Speed Lab where we go over people film to help make them faster. We go over people's film to help make them faster. So we've got some good film review to do today. We got David, Casey, and Sean. We're going to review film from all of them, look at some hundreds, some block starts, and some more block starts. Before we do that, I just wanted to point out that we are starting a Leica Pro challenge. My Leica Pro series on YouTube seems to be doing well. So let's go ahead and become professionals in our own lives at whatever we're working towards. Look at the little demon emoji. We're ready to go. So for this challenge, this is just the light version. I'm going to actually put Leica Pro. Yeah, that's all right. The real version's coming. What month is it? In July 1st. The real version is coming, but so day 0, it's free until the end of June. This challenge, essentially, it's a commitment that you're going to make towards your goal. Okay. So for the next 13 days, which will be from now to the end of June, starting July 1st, what would it look like for you to show up pro towards your number one goal? Not perfect, not unrealistic, just fully in. So I myself am attempting to become pro at online coaching as opposed to in-person coaching. That's my goal. Oh, David's making his. We have David already here. Hello, currently making my commitment card. I think I want to improve my rest and recovery because I don't sleep enough or do any. That's excellent, David. You make your commitment card because a part of my commitment is showing up more online for my online athletes. Because I show up well in person, but I have to make that change in line. So that means 8 hours every day, focus, zero distractions, working on or in Speed Lab. And David, for you, based on your comment, what this means is that I will be hosting calls inside of Speed Lab. Finally, let's go. Oh, I just did something with the tabs. Okay, so pretty simple, but also a little challenging as far as it's going to require that you take some big action. So a brief story about commitment cards. I went to a high school which is well known for athletics, very elite athletic programs, and in a lot of sports, specifically football. But a part of our weekly traditions for this high school team was a team dinner. No surprise there. However, at team dinner, we read and made commitment cards as a group activity with the team. So I will have my commitment card, this week, these weekly goals must be specific, measurable, and time bound. So they're goals based on the week. I will do the Speed Lab fundamentals 6 times this week. That might be an example of a goal. And then what I will do is I will actually dedicate this card to someone. So I'll say, Andrew White or Kyrie Knowles, this card's for you. What this means, what this looks like is that I will eliminate staying up past 11. I'll wake up 1 hour early so that I have time to complete the Speed Lab fundamentals. Those two are tied together. David just mentioned I'll do my foam rolling and stretching in the evening. I'll hydrate. So those are my actionable to-dos. So every day I can post this in the accountability portion and show my commitment partners that that's what I'm doing. If I achieve these weekly goals, how will it impact who I'm becoming? Well, it means I will be someone who commits and sticks to a schedule, which will definitely help me reach my larger goal. I will then sign it and I'll post it in the commitment card section. So that's the challenge that we're working towards. So the deadline, you have until midnight on June 30th to post your card and action post. So you not only need to post your card, but you need to have an accountability post as well. And everyone who does this basically gets a free membership for life to Speed Lab, because July 1st, I'm going to start charging. You have 7-day trial. And then after that, in that 7 days, I'll review your film. I'll go over it. I'll give you as much advice as I can. But then after that, I will start charging. So, okay. that is an overview of the commitment card challenge. We already have David in here. So David, I haven't put this in a post yet, but the winner will get 4 one-on-one calls with me. The second place person will get 2, and the third place person will get 1. So we can help do some cool stuff for you, David, if you're able to participate. So that was on commitment cards. Let's go over what we're all here for, which is film review. I want to get to some Track All Access YouTube channel. They make great content, and just review what they're doing over there. However, we have a lot of reviews to do today and not that much time. So I'm going to get into the reviews, and if we have time, if we have energy, we will go over some Track All Access things at the end. Okay. Can you guys hear? Can you hear my little dog back there? He's digging in his bed. Let me see. Hold on. Turn my mic down a little bit. Hopefully you can't hear him, and you can only hear me. Okay. Let me know if this is not loud enough. But David, since you're here, let's go ahead and look at your film, okay? Let's see, before we do that. So if you're curious about how to submit film, you don't want to participate in the commitment cards, that's completely fine. What you do is you come here. This is Speed Lab. You type, please help. And then you post a video that says, I need help with my block starts. Okay, none of that is spelled correctly. Then you attach your video, and you scroll here to select a category, and you post film review. And then you can post it. And what I do is come to this nice Speed Lab page. I click on film review, and look at this. So we have Sean, David, Will, we already got to, and Casey followed up here with some exciting news. Wait, where is that at, Casey? Oh, Casey didn't post it in film review. Do you believe? Oh, accountability post. Okay, we'll give her a pass. But we have some good stuff from Casey that we're going to go over as well. But again, since David's here, let's go over his film. Oh, you could see him in the back. If you're on desktop, you can see my dog back there digging inside of his bed for unknown reasons, trying to get comfortable. What am I doing? David. Okay, David, are you still here? Filling out his commitment card. Okay, David says, worked on my blocks today and lifted after. Felt a bit better than last week. Still working on the ankle stiffness through exercises I was given. I think I gave David a, let me show you guys what I'm reading actually. Don't worry, the film's coming very soon. You got to have a prologue, then, you know, yada, yada, yada. Okay, I definitely feel I'm breaking form and still landing in front of my COM center of mass during reps, but it got better. Going to try and fix this over time, of course. This was my first session implementing some instructions from Coach Chase. Also tried to fix some angles while on marks and getting set. Okay. I can tell David already looks a bit better. Just based on the way that he's in his blocks. I think I gave him a block start checklist. So let's see. Do we have... That's not helpful. Are these going to load? Let's see if we can find... David, is this you? Yes, I believe this is David from last time that we helped him. Yes. I remember David. And okay, so this is David from before. David says, yes, this is film from last session. I gave David the advice that His shoulders are too far back. They need to be over his hands. And also that results in him sitting back with his back leg. It should be also up and down. This just helps puts you in a better position. It will put a bit more pressure on your fingers, but it's something that you get used to, especially at David, how old are you? 16 or something like that? Like you'll get used to it in no time. But you don't want to feel crazy on your fingers, but it's challenging to do, which is why athletes prefer to sit back in the blocks. It relieves some pressure off your hands, but you have to apply some force into the track through your arms as well, right? You want good, right? You want what would you call it? I mean, you want all the power in the hips, right? I mean, that's kind of what athletics is in most cases in most sports. So what that requires is that not only are you pushing back against the pedals with your feet as you should, but you're pushing from the ground up to then put some tension on the hips, glutes, because when you fire out of the blocks, that's where you want to be, right? So let's see. Already looking better inside of the blocks themselves, David. Now, a little bit. Okay. Still a little sitting back here. Not going to be too nitpicky because if I recall correctly, David, when you come to set, like even in the last video where I told you you're too far back, it was in a decent. Yeah, that was. You see those shoulders roll forward here as you come to set. The goal when you come to set is that you don't want anything to move except for your hips. Okay. So let's see. Yeah. We'll go here and then we'll go there. Actually, our hips are going to move, so we don't need to do that. We'll go there. And then when you come to set, so this is not as bad as the last time, but you still see. And I know you have more that we're about to review, so maybe you fixed it. Now, we had a problem of landing on that after that initial push, landing onto the front foot instead of actively attacking back on the track. So let's see. What I can say is like this is a great position. No matter how you start, I'm happy with the position that you're in on set. David says, "Yeah, I did notice and figured I would try and fix it more in my next session because I think it's still it recurs." So yeah, it takes a while. This is why you practice, right? Because it takes multiple reps to fix things. And like I said, this is a great set position that you're in. I like the angles. Let's see if I can manage to do this without already starting off rough here. Okay. All right, not bad. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I like that angle, 140. I think it's supposed to be a little bit like 120, so maybe a little bit too wide there. But, and then 116. Not horrible. And this is how you know, David, because when you decide to go, there's no extra movements. Your very first movement is forward with nice arm and nice extension off of those blocks. Okay. Driving back there nicely. cycled out just a little bit. I'm watching it on the screen like I'm not controlling it with my iPad. Okay, from here, we're just going to ask, does this foot come back and fire into the track? It looks like it does. Different from last time, I would say. I feel my contacts need to be better still because my leg seems to drift in front too much and I land in front a little. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like this one here, you just kind of hang out there. That's a little bit of a wide, right? You're good here. You have to finish pushing off, and now you have to figure out how to snap that back down here. Like I said, it comes from squeezing the hamstring in this moment, but the skill required to do that at full speed is high level. So it just is going to take practice. And you definitely, I mean, you step down nicely, but now's not necessarily the time to step down. It's the time to snap that leg back, right? If you were standing up tall and sprinting, this would be a bit better. But not horrible. Let's see some more. That was one. Let's see your routine. Got to have a routine. Let's see if it differs. Loads the back pedal. That back pedal can be loaded a bit more there, David. Loads the front pedal. This is a little more forward. Good. Set. What happened? Yeah. You're just trying to find it. You know, you're just trying to find it. These are new blocks. So, or new-ish, not that you haven't done blocks before. This style is new. And so you see, this is what I meant by you could have pushed back further on that initial loading. So here we go. Okay, you do good here. But when that foot is loading back into that pedal, I need it flat. Okay, I need it flat against that pedal, like in this position. So again, it's about pushing back this way and finding a point to push that way to where the concentration of power is at your hips. Okay, like even when you load the blocks, that should be true, right? Because this is what happens when you don't. When you leave that little bit of space here, when you leave that little bit of space, this is what happens. Okay, you come down here. Then look, you come to set, and what does that foot do? It slips. It's trying to find where that pedal is. Okay. A good thing about this, David, is that this pedal is laid all the way down and this pedal is laid all the way down. The bad thing is that that front foot has space in it. And the back foot is trying to find, right? If this slip happens, when let's say we have a very eager starter, okay, that means it doesn't really give everyone a chance to come to full set. Starters have different cadences like quarterbacks do. So you're trying to find your footing here. You get that little slip of that leg and the gun goes off. That's going to be a bad start. And then you're going to have to submit film to me and say, why did I have a bad start? And then I'm going to say, well, your foot was literally sliding down the pedal. You weren't stuck to those pedals. And that's why you slipped. So another thing is the reason that it feels pretty hard on your hands. I haven't talked to David, by the way. I'm just assuming that it feels hard on his hands based on the way that he's setting up his blocks. But it's because you're putting a lot of push back here. I think you're actually doing that not too bad, but this is weaker, right? It's because, again, your feet are not fully connected to those pedals. It just took 5 minutes to tell you to connect your feet to the pedals. Good. This is one other thing you do well. Okay. What do you run? What's your times? Yeah, good. Your hands are used to it. So yeah, you just need more contact with the pedals. Excuse me, everyone. Sorry. David's eyes are good, right? When he's in the blocks, nice, relaxed here. When he decides to go, his eyes are looking down the track, right? Not down here. So that's a good thing. Now the angle of our body as we push out of the blocks will be a nice angle. When you see people look like as though they're falling into the track as they start, almost always their eyes are looking down at the track. David is not. He's doing it very nice. Eyes out, full extension, nice arm swings here. Okay. Good. Firing back there. Maybe a little bit overextended. Maybe spent too much time pushing and not enough time snapping that leg back down. We already know this. This is what we were been talking about. And then this is going to be the theme as you continue. You can really see how this foot took a lot more effort to get off of and a lot more time to get off of, because it's kind of hanging around out there like this. Now you need to step back down, but it just floats. You're just floating. David runs 11.73 as of like 1 month ago, and I haven't ran a meet since. How many meets did you do in the season, David? And do you have any coming up for summer? Not bad. Not bad. I plan to try to do some this summer, but I haven't seen any show up yet. Yeah, no problem. Summer can be tough. What about during season? How many meets did you have during your track season? Okay, so 8 outdoor meets total. That's right on the cusp of PR territory. Any less, like 6 indoor? I had probably 4. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's a decent number of meets. It's decent. If you could squeeze it. I mean, I'm sure you're on a team, so. But David, this is what you should learn how to do. This, if I were coaching you, this is what I would teach you how to do. I'll say that. So you do a good job fundamentally. You just don't understand. I mean, you push well, you just don't react back at the track very well, or not react back at the track. You just don't know how to do it. So what I would suggest you do is you went through the block start checklist, I believe I sent you, David. Go to the Explode Faster, Don't Get Left Behind series, okay? What I would like you to try are these drills. Okay. And now this is going to teach low heel recovery, if you can see myself doing these. Right, the heel kind of drags through. Maybe overemphasized in today's track culture, but you know, you see my client, he's not low heel recovering. She actually does it a little bit better, but she gets a little too long and hits in front of herself like you do, David. But these are just drills. So, and then you have jumping with a pause. Now, these are really going to overextend. I actually don't like how I'm doing this drill. I'm not going to lie to you. But the one that you should pay attention to, David, are called speed bounds, early acceleration speed bounds. Okay. Now, this is how you're going to learn how to get full extension and snap back together. Okay. I know that this is like kind of fast, but so those are what you should learn how to do, the speed bounds where there's no shot this is going to be good quality. I should have downloaded this for you. Okay, that might help. So you see my foot comes out and snaps. That was at the ends of the rep. So let's see again. Hopefully I'm a good example, but I think you get the idea of what I would like you to do, David. Please let me know if that's true or not. Okay, so very similar to a start. Nice big arms, push off, full extension, and that foot should snap back under even better than I'm doing it now. I mean, I'm giving an example in socks, but no excuses, right? Boom. You can kind of see how I step down on that one, step down on that one, back under me, and it propels me forward. Also, my ankles are stiff as they hit, right? They hit and they spring back off. That spring is efficient. David, this is what you need to learn how to implement. Okay. And so, you know, please do the commitment card thing, because I would love to work with you and just help you get this piece down. When you get this down, what happens is that it rolls into the rest of the race. And so, you know, the first 10 meters sets up everything. And when you have that active motion of snapping back down to the track, now you stay long, but you get into a rhythm of length, but also, I mean, expansion and contraction, which is the game of sprinting. You begin to learn how to do that efficiently. So these are one of my favorite to do for starts. So you see, she gets just stuck on the grass when she does it, a little bit different than how I looked, if you can see that. Just stuck. I'm trying to turn her into a triple jumper, because she might be able to jump, just because the skill of snapping the leg back down is very sprint specific. It is a skill. It is a skill that some people are just naturally gifted at. That's also true. See, this is the other guy. He toes down. Look at the drop on the dorsiflexion. Look at where his eyes are staring. Those are no bueno. Okay. David says, okay, I understand. Good. Give it a try. Film them and let me help you fix them. And then you'll see it. You'll see the transition into your starts once you dial in how to snap that foot back under your center of mass. Okay. That was David. We'll go to Sean, and then we'll go to Casey next. End on a nice W. So this is Sean for what do I want to show? We can go here, I guess. Okay, so Sean is a rather tall sprinter, and he's working on patience and length. David says, "All right, thanks. I will record this after stream is over." Good, good. David, where are you? What state are you in, or where are you located? This is Sean, and Sean's a tall sprinter, and so Sean came to me and had a confusion about sprinting. Wisconsin. All right, there you go. Go. What do they call corn? Wisconsin. That's Cornhuskers, right? Wisconsin. Oh, is that Nebraska? That's Nebraska. I'm sorry, Wisconsin. I apologize. They're the Badgers. I'm sorry. It's probably disrespectful. Okay. Also, when should I fit the bounds into my workout? So there's different styles, different days, different methods, different reasons. My advice to you would be to do something like 4 times 30-yard speed bounds before you do block starts. They can be done on the same day because they're explosive and speed oriented. Yeah. Dave is giving me a little bit of pass because I called them the Wisconsin Cornhuskers, but but I know Nebraska people and they wouldn't appreciate that. So that's okay. All right. So again, Sean's tall. He was confused with he was confused with the concept of speed. He felt like right, like many people do, not just him. They mistake frequency for speed. And frequency doesn't equal speed, although it's a component of speed, right? Covering the most amount of ground in the shortest amount of time, that equals speed. And so also because he's tall, there's a little bit extra pressure to keep up with the shorter runners in the like during the dry phase of the race. And so then but what happens is like I just said, the beginning of the race sets up the whole other race. When you panic because people may get out faster than you, and then you start to chop your stride because you're trying to force speed with frequency, then the whole rest of the race you actually get stuck in that motion, and that's what happens to Sean. Okay, David says, okay, I will fit the speed bounds into my next acceleration workout. Good. Like I said, film them and let me know how let me help you, or at least let me know how they go. Okay, so what does this look like? Okay, so this is essentially what it looks like is that wasn't a good example. Where? No. I'll find it. Is this it? Yes. Okay, so again, this is Sean, and again, he tries to put so much emphasis on the start and frequency that he gets stuck doing that, and so when the rest of his race looks like this. So I don't know if you were able to see him scoot by. This is a better example. Okay. That's Sean. Okay. So he gets stuck in this pattern of frequency equals speed. And so then he has no length. And he's, I think, like 6'4". So length is kind of his superpower, or at least should be. So the advice I gave Sean was to go slow before you go fast. Learn how to run at 70% with perfect sprint form. If you don't know how to run at 70% with perfect sprint form, which I have learned that is a problem for some of my athletes, then you don't know how to sprint. Okay. And I see this a lot, especially with like distance people too. Like athletes who prioritize distance don't always know how to sprint. And that's a problem. And then if you ask them to do like a stride at 80%, they have no idea what that means. And that's also a problem. And so for Sean, he had to learn how to go slow before he went fast, be open. And so this is some adjustments that he's been working on. Um, let's see how it goes. Sean's on the inside in the all black. So very nice. Much more open here and using his length to cover ground. And this is just the beginning. He's going to get stronger and faster. Um, I, s- so the challenge will be translating this into the race, and the way that that happens is just through a ton of reps and a ton of races. Like there's no shortcuts. Because what happens is you're going to get into the meet, and then maybe you'll do correctly for 40 meters out of 100, and then you'll do it correctly for 50, 60, and then eventually the whole 100 will be open and patient. But for now, it just takes reps for him. This is a weird forward lean here. Like, and we're going to discuss this in some of the other videos that he shared with me, but it's like he's leaning forward at the hips as opposed to like his ori. So you should run with a lean. That's true. But what you really want is your shoulders forward or down, not your hips. And right now he's hitting like this is his point of lean at the hips, but the point of lean should actually be at the ankles through the toes, right? And so you see him here flat-footed hitting the track. And he never really pushes off that foot, right? Um this is where the awkwardness is coming in. So this is helpful for me as I discuss things with Sean and try to figure out what it's going to take for him to break 11 seconds. This is not properly pushing off the track, right? And I think a large portion of that is because your hips are trail you're bent at the hips, and that shouldn't be. That's a little better, but yeah, I don't. I think that you just need to continue going slow before you go fast. You're at in the middle of season, towards the end of season. This change is going to take time, right? I think you similarly need bounds, maybe not in the same way that David did, but in a certain style, because you're not really covering as much ground as you should be given your length. Stop saying Yeah. A little choppy. One thing about Sean, though, is he's relentless in his pursuit to going sub 11. And so it's just not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when, right? So that a huge credit goes out to him for that. Okay, block starts. He's shown me some good block starts in the past. The problem for him is way more when he comes up to sprint standing up, right? Those are where the problems are very obvious. His start actually is not horrible, but again, he's tailored it to keep up with the shorter athletes, and so he gets stuck in high frequency mode. So he's been working on having big arms coming out of the blocks. Let's go ahead and compare his blocks. Okay. Pretty good here. Looks flat, looks flat against the pedal. Look, overall, not bad. I don't have many complaints with that. There you go. He steps down a bit better there. David, if you're still here, just compare the step down. Here, you could see it come back. Boom. Okay. That's what we have to learn how to do, David. But then look at this. This goes back again to not pushing off the track, and look at where his eyes are. There's only one place he can go. Down. Okay. Instead of eyes out here. And I know like it's a big point, and I'm sticking on it because it will help change a lot of things. It doesn't seem like it, but having vision, not even sight necessarily, but vision is one of the key factors for success in achieving goals. Right? You can be blind and still have vision, so understand the difference. But now he goes down. Look at that. Doesn't push off that leg. It takes him forever to get off that foot. I'm going in slow motion, so that's not fair. Slow motion to hypermode. Here we go. Okay, not bad. I'm just being picky here, but again, fix the eyes. That is bad eyes. And then doesn't push off that leg, right? This goes back to the theme of trying to be so fast that you're into actually slow because you're just spinning your wheels. Wheel spin, they call it. This is the opposite of what David does. David gets long, but then doesn't contract. And for Sean, he just has only contraction happening and stays really tight and really small and really frequent and burns all the energy. Doesn't fully push off of that foot. Okay. All right. So let's actually define this. Okay. Look at the push off here. All the way through the big toe. All the way through the big toe. He pushes. Very nice. Now watch. Short change me. Short. Right? I don't know if that's obvious to other people, but short. Short, not pushing. Okay, now he's really out of balance. Again, eyes. I mean, maybe they're 2 meters ahead. They need to be just changing his eyes alone would put him in a better position. So Sean, when you see this, understand that just fixing your vision to be 10 meters down the track will help your positioning. But now look at how out of position he is. Hips. Right? Pretty obvious now that this hip doesn't get extended. This ankle does not get extended. And the back is kind of like roundy, which is not good for power. Imagine trying to do a squat with a bent back. That is no bueno. No bueno. This one's a little better. Where is it? Boom. Yeah, not bad. You actually attempt to push off this foot this time. But the thing that's holding you back yet again are these eyes. That's not good. You shortchange me on the push there. Look at that. That's small. Look how small the arms are. Okay. You will never see a sprinter in a dry phase, a fast one, with small arms like that. You didn't do it over here. Look at that. Nice and powerful out of the blocks, right? I mean, you know, it's no, just watch this arm and this leg. They're going to move at the same time. They're going to move with the same intensity. They're going to move with the same range of motion. Boom. But then look at how short he comes on the way up. Now, again, these are all symptoms and signs of Sean trying to force the speed instead of being patient and building throughout the race. Yeah. Now look at this arm. Again. Look, I can't even find it. That's how small it is. And this leg. So you don't drive your arm all the way back, and as a result, you don't actually push off the track. Okay. A lot to be improved there. You know, I mean, one other thing I think Sean needs is like 60s and 80s, you know. He sends me a lot of 20s and 30s, but I don't. My advice would be to build some strength. Okay. I like that advice. I don't mean weight room strength. Although that would be very helpful for you too. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. Not pushing. Really small. Okay. So, you know, we're better than before, but you're still small. And it's just going to take reps, Sean. It's going to take sleds and hills and bounds and learning how to be open and rhythmic. Okay. Who else? One more time. Okay, we're time to go over a win. We got a win. WIN. Let's go, David. Shout out. Already got a commitment card. I love it. Let me see. There we go. Okay, so we are looking for Casey. So Casey says, okay, Casey PR'd in the long jump. We went over a little landing and fun long jump stuff. But she wanted to share a fail as well and put it in an accountability post. You know, it was her first 100, so she did not take into account the mental aspect at the line. This is what I say all the time, is that racing is is different than running fast. You need to practice your skill of racing on top of your skills of running fast. As a result, Casey totally froze because the very young girl to the left of her came out supersonic fast. She does get out really fast. I saw this already. And made me supersonic slow motion. You know what they say, run your own race. Easier said than done. Easier said than done, especially for race number 1 of the season. I didn't do what I've been practicing at all and just stood up practically. All right. That's all right, Casey. Let's see. Because we have a nice win coming in after that. I don't remember what. I believe it was a red top. Yeah. All right. So this is Casey. This is a tiny Usain Bolt. Let's see what happens. she was out of there. That's crazy. Wow, it's like the starter shot the gun based on her movement. That was crazy reaction time by her. Little Usain. Let's watch that. And you can see this too. Just to our point about Sean, you know, those eyes are looking out here, not down here. Casey, on the other hand, down. Right? This young lady is still in her dry phase, but now her vision has shifted even down here. She's looking where she wants to go, not where she is. Okay, Case? I know, you know, we talked about this already, and I know that this was a blunder of a race for you, and we're about to improve shortly, but we're gonna watch it and talk about it anyway. Okay, I saw this too, Casey, was, you know, you definitely panicked when I mean, they should have told you that Usain Bolt was in your race, you know. So what happened is you stood up, you realized where you were, you knew that you were supposed to be driving, and what you can see here is that your head goes back down. You're like, oh no, I still need to be driving. So you dip your head a little bit. It's kind of late. You definitely were out of your drive phase, but I appreciate the effort of you know, trying to drive 30 meters. And then, you know, after y'all stood up, maybe there was some more separation, but nothing drastic. So we just got to get you to not be stuck for 40 meters. And so Casey comes to, I tell her, you know, the first race of the season, you got to get into rhythm. Like stuff like that happens. And so then if you see here, you don't see here because I didn't add it to stage. Nope. We are going to review that in a second, but I just want to highlight this W right here. Okay. Now you can see it. So Casey came back, second PR of the 200. I think what I told her too is, ooh, you just need more race reps and you'll beat your 1494 PR. Casey ran 1525 in that 100. Comes back next weekend, 1487 in the 100, 31.4 in the 200, into a headwind, and top it off, beat some 36-year-olds. So let's review that and end this stream with a W. Had to get back to 36-year-olds, huh? Little Usain was out of there. Okay. I haven't seen these yet. I don't think. Okay, so we got Casey in lane 3, maybe. Let's watch it. That was already a more confident set position in those blocks. So much better, Casey. So much better. Nice and relaxed. That's awesome. Awesome. Okay. One thing is you just got to figure out what to do with your arms, right? If like let's watch. I mean, let's see. We can watch these two girls over here. The first thing they do is pump their arms and drive that knee up, push off that block. Right? They're in sync with their arm that pushes off and the leg that pushes off. For you, Casey, you have a moment where you don't have any arms swinging forward. You just kind of almost stand up and then begin to go. Okay, so getting way more familiar with which arm's supposed to fire out of the blocks first. You have your left leg forward, which means your left arm should fire first. And you look like almost you weren't sure or wanted to go at the right. Okay, so that's an easy fix for you. Just being comfortable with the arm that drives forward. Get your eyes up, and you won't feel like you're falling into the track or like there's a track monster dragging you down. I like this step down though. Boom, extend, drives back under her hips. Good. Okay, nice. Look at you. You drove past the girl next to you like not the best reaction out of the blocks because of your arms. Easy fix. Look at the girl next to you stood up. You stayed patient, drove right by her, right? Boom. And then it just carried over into the rest of your race, which I'm zoomed in very close and we can't see anything. So cool. Nice PR. Casey's been putting in a lot of work. And so, I'm not surprised. Nice arms, nice and open. You want to see what an open stride looks like, Sean? This is it. Right? She's not 6'4" that I know of, but this is a nice open stride. The night and not so open that the turnover is slow. It's like a nice balance for her and her body and her type for length and turnover. Nice and smooth. All right. Let's watch this 200. Uno más. Which I definitely have not seen, I don't think. A little windy. We'll turn the sound down. Inside lane again? They don't like you, Casey, or what? You might like the inside more. I prefer the outside. I'd rather have 8 over 2 any day of the week. Again, I can see it from here. I just think you need to get your eyes up. I think your initial feeling is that you're going straight into the track, and that's because your eyes are straight down at the track. Like I can see it from here. Like the way that you pass by this person in the blue, you're in a different position. Your head is straight down versus now when you come out the other side. Now your eyes are where they should be, and so you're in a better position. as soon as the gun goes off, you look through your eyebrow down the track. That may have looked scary. I don't know what I looked like doing that, but I'll watch it back. Around the turn, nice. Oftentimes, it's so much easier to be relaxed and open in the 200 compared to the 100, because the 100 punishes mistakes. In the 200, you get away with a bit more mistakes just because it's you just do. And it's easier for people to find rhythm in the 200 than the 100. Rolling them up. Again, excellent combination of stride length and stride turnover. In the lead, as you come off the turn, this is always my advice. Now you just stay relaxed, open, tall. This is tall sprinting. Very good. Very good. Oh, she was trying to come get you at the end, huh? Don't let her get you, Casey. I already know what happened, so. And Casey won. Very nice. Because of the way you ran your 100 and your 200, I think that your training program, I don't know what it is, but I bet you it's really good. And you have a nice blend of whatever you're doing, right? I would just say the little details now, getting the eyes up will help tremendously there. And getting just reps, that's not a little detail by any means. Getting reps in is a big deal. So, okay. All right, I'm going to go review some of these. David's commitment card, anybody else's commitment card. Once again, we'll go over it. We're doing a nice challenge from now. So the entry is now to the 30th of June. We're going to start the challenge on July 1st. In so many words, you can come read this post in school. The challenge is you make a commitment towards your weekly goal. It must be specific, measurable, and time bound. Then you say what you will eliminate, what you're going to replace. And then if you achieve these weekly goals, how will it impact who you're becoming? You sign it. You post it in commitment cards and you tag someone. You can tag me for the first round. Say, I commit this card to Chase Wheeler. You tag my name and I will help hold you accountable as well as everyone else in our community. So that's the challenge. That's the challenge. We have 13 days to go to sign up for it. And then anyone who does that will remain a Speed Lab for lifer, because starting July 1st, we're going to start charging for this challenge. So that's it. Join, come submit your film as well inside of Speed Lab. That's free. Where do I go? Film review. Come submit your film. Let me review it. I would love to help. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, David. Thanks, Casey, Sean. See you next time.